All right, welcome back, everybody, to another Leverage Podcast episode here. I'm excited to be with one of the coaches in the local area and a business coach. I always have a passion for business coaches because I think they bring so much value to the business owner, to their personal lives, and just all the crap that we deal with as business owners for sure. And some really good things too. Shouldn't always just say it's all crap, but we deal with a lot of stuff, right? So I want to introduce my friend Jennifer Seidelman, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself. So Jennifer, tell people a little bit about who you are and how you make money.
Well, I have been coaching small business owners and real estate agents now for 20 years. My company is You Define Success. And really my philosophy is if I am coaching you in your business, we don't pretend like your life doesn't exist. So I coach the entire person, which is different than some business coaches. And I work a lot with women entrepreneurs. That's my primary audience. Both in the phase of where they're building and feeling the overwhelm and 15 people telling them what to do and going, I don't know which person to listen to, and women who are in the success phase of their business and feeling a little burnt out and oftentimes starting to resent their business. And they're kind of thinking, if this is what success is, I'm not sure I actually want it. So yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, that's awesome. We're going to speak a lot of the same language. I obviously have a real estate background prior to the virtual assistant company. And I was a Keller Williams MAPS coach and all of that. So we dealt with a lot of and then we kind of shied a little more away from life circumstances because it was it's so valuable. I mean, and I know that now today, but back then it was like, I'm not a certified marriage counselor. I'm not a certified alcohol recovery person. So I'm going to have to, but that is obviously affecting your business, right? For sure. So I appreciate the coaches that can bring both sides of it for sure, because they have the skill and the tact to be able to handle the more personal. I was kind of what you were saying. The other side is like, I don't really want to know your personal life. I just want to talk business and I want to go, you're not hitting your numbers. Let's get how we're going to get there. But the real reality is they weren't hitting their numbers probably because something that was going on outside the business.
Yeah. I didn't know you were a MAPS coach. I was a productivity coach at KW I was one of the OG productivity coaches.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I did a little OP stint there for a while up in Northern Colorado, all that fun jazz. So yeah. Every job I try to take, I try to go as far as different positions and climb ladders as much as I can. And then I'm just like, all right, peace. Let's go do something different. So very good. Well, what's the biggest thing you're focused on growing right now?
I am launching a new program. You actually have really good timing. We're doing our 3-day event at the end of this month. So I'm in full go mode for that right now. And the new program is called the Peace, Purpose, and Profits Accelerator. And it's a 12 takes you 12 years to get there. It's a 12-month program. And it's really designed to help people reconnect with what they want in their life. Because a lot of us, especially if we start our businesses 25 years ago, what we wanted then and what we want now is very different. And so kind of refocusing on that and then building the systems, the tools, the strategies in your business to help your business not take over your life, but your business actually be in service to your life. So I'm really excited. Some fresh curriculum, and I'm really excited to be launching it.
I love that. I love the background and just specifically on Keller Williams' side, right? And just you got to watch through the whole, priorities of, God, family, business, right? All of those type of things. And it was just like kind of ingrained to you that, and Diana Kokoska's life by design, right? Not by default, right? Type things. And it's like, it's so true. Like we're building a business not to come crashing down because we're so overworked and stressed. We're actually building a business. I always define freedom as truly as, can you leave your business for a period of time and enjoy it and relax and not have to get back in that business while you're recovering? That's success to me. I want to be able to go, I'm going to take off tomorrow for the next 2 weeks. And I know it's not going to cause any impact on my business. Love it. So let's talk a little bit about what's the one thing you do today that most people in your industry are not doing?
Well, I think there's actually two things. One, I think a lot of people post-COVID are staying right here behind the camera and they're not back out engaging with people. And so I just spent 3 days in Ashland, Oregon at a joint venture event. And so everyone in the room was, how can we support each other? What can we do? How can we build together? So I think that's one thing, because those connections become invaluable. Yeah. And then I still would say the other piece is so many people feel like it's one or the other in terms of the work they do. And so for me, I think one of my kind of secret sauces has been that from day one, I believed that as a coach, it was coach the whole human. And so I've never shied away from that. And so what I found is my clients we have a deeper connection because they're able to come to me with both. So I think that's kind of one of the things that makes me unique.
Very cool. Very cool. What's the biggest breakthrough that changed the trajectory of your business today in the past? Just give us our audience kind of an example.
Well, really the biggest thing is I was the person who, worked 24/7, thought that was the way it had to be. Really like vacation. What's a vacation? Or vacation, but yes, in the morning I'm going to work and then we can go to the beach in the afternoon. And unfortunately in 2021, I got long COVID and everything stopped. Like there were days I couldn't get out of bed. I was so sick. And that lasted for about almost 2 years. Wow. And so I had to take a step back. I had to really look at my business and which pieces I could do and which pieces I had to let go of. And I had to really let go of my own identity because I'd always been the person who could just do. And it's like, I can't do that anymore. And so as I went through that, I realized how many other business owners have that and what a problem it is, because there does come a point in life where we slow down. So, I started as an entrepreneur at 27 and I'm a lot older than that now. And, so it's sort of, no, I don't have the same energy. I don't have the same desires as then. So it really shifted my message from hustle culture to really, I'm kind of anti-hustle culture now.
Yeah, I see that a lot. And it's pretty interesting because you always see both ends of the spectrum, right? You have the coaches that are just, you ain't going to get anywhere unless you hustle grind for so many hours a day. And you have the others that are like, there's a better, smarter way to do it, right? And I think somewhere, without getting into a whole nother lesson on that, is there's probably a balance somewhere in there based on where you are in your career, right? Like my personal opinion, you may disagree with that, is you got to hustle that first year or so. It's just a grind. It's just getting it off and going. And then you got to figure out, and this is where I think most business are a piece of where a lot of business owners fail, is determining when's the right time to bring that leverage piece in, right? In real estate, it could just be a third-party transaction coordinator, right? That it could be as simple as the leverage as that. When do you bring it in? But eventually, like my business services a lot of real estate agents because of their entrepreneurial mindset or business. A lot of them are solopreneurs, to be real, right? It's like, okay, you need to get that virtual assistant in to run your social media. You need to get that virtual assistant in to manage your calendar, to manage your appointments, right? There's a lot of things that can take off your plate such that you're not having to hustle and grind. And the highest and best use of your time, right, is what is the lowest level task you're doing today. That means you're doing the opposite of what you should be doing, right? So I digress, but I always talk to business owners about that. That's back to that initial statement, is most miss the window and get too successful and burn out and then discover they need leverage versus figuring out that leverage along the way.
Yes, totally agree.
Looking back, what was slowing you down before you had that breakthrough?
I think a couple things. One, feeling like I had to be all things to all people versus going, here's really where my area of specialty, my genius lies. And then I think the other piece was not being super 100% clear on what really set my life on fire. And because of that, you get up and you do have to do all the things. And once you really know what it is, first of all, when you have to do all the things, it no longer feels like you're doing all the things. Like you can work long days because they're not draining you in the same way as when you're not really aligned with what you should be doing. So I think those two things really caused me to kind of go, oh yeah, this isn't working anymore. I can't just use that hustle. Hustle's not going to get me across the finish line until I'm, I believe I'll probably be working until the day I fall into the grave because I enjoy working, not because I have to. And so it's like, do I still want to be doing these things when I'm 80? No. Okay. Right. Well, then let's start finding a way not to do them now, because why not get rid of them earlier rather than later? So, yeah.
and at different seasons in life, kind of like you said, right? And that's different seasons in business too, right? It's like I used to coach and everybody get on stage and be like, I did $100 billion deal in deals, right? And it's like, cool. Not everybody has to aspire to that, right? What is your goal, right? Your goal may be 12 homes. It may be 20 homes in the real estate world. Nobody says you should have to do 100 homes just to look cool, right? It's like, what is that? That's comfortable profitable for you. Now let's build a leverage plan around what that goal is. If you want to just sell 2 homes, cool, you probably don't need leverage, right? But if you want to do a certain number, you probably need some leverage into your business, and you just got to be willing to trust the process and spend a little bit of money, right?
Yeah. And why not use leverage anyways? Even if you don't aspire to sell 100 homes, leverage gives you time back in your life no matter what level you're at. So I like time off.
I say all the time, like the best jobs in the world sometimes are nothing I have to do. It's just collecting that mailbox money. Like referral agents will realize that with the referral business. It's like all I had to do is connect A to B and make money. How can I do that in more areas of my life? It's through leverage in some capacity.
Totally.
You're just leveraging another agent to take care of the business for you. What gives you personally the most leverage today? It could be anything from people to softwares to AI to, you tell me.
The most leverage probably right now is AI. Although Claude just did some not okay things on my computer. And decided to delete some files on me that it wasn't supposed to delete. So you got to be careful with that AI leverage sometimes. I would say that. And then really, and this is new for me because I used to kind of feel like I had to go it alone, but affiliate relationships, partnering with other people that we have similar businesses and we can work together versus it feeling like a competition. I've had virtual assistants in the past. I had to let mine go about a year ago because it really wasn't working. And I now use them periodically. I don't have a full-time one, but I love that leverage. Instead of it being, well, I have to hire somebody who's going to be sitting next to me and they're full-time and, this week it's a little slow and I don't really have anything for you to do. So I think those are probably the things that I leverage the most is those relationships, sometimes the VA and definitely AI.
Yeah, I love that. And I kind of take that story a little bit as like, I used to always challenge agents when I was an agent and a MAPS coach and all that. I'm like, hey, you're at a position now where you probably need to hire leverage. And it could be US based, foreign based. I didn't really care. I just said, you need to get somebody in there as your front desk receptionist. It could be a VA, whatever it is. I'm like, their challenge always was like, I don't want to pay $40,000 a year. That's a big hit. And I was like, well, there's 2 things to that. Number one, you're not paying $40,000 check right out the door. You're paying on a bi-weekly basis, right? So worst case is you don't like your leverage in 60 days, you're out $7,000, right? Or whatever that math is, right? And I'm just like, so it's not that big of a deal. Don't think about the big check. But where I really was able to challenge people is like, well, if that scares you, then just hire a virtual assistant at $4 or $5 an hour from our company in the Philippines. That's not scary at all. Well, then the objections continue to roll. And then you're like, okay, so the real objection is not the money. The objection is probably a control issue, something like that. Let's dig a little deeper into that.
Control. It's always control. I do it better than anybody else. Yes, but you're not getting it done.
Correct. And if your value is a $400 an hour person, if you break down your revenue into the number of hours that are worked, would you pay me $400 an hour to manage your email? I might take that job. Like maybe I'll up it about $700, but if you're willing to pay it, I'll manage your email.
Yeah, it's funny because people, they do that to themselves. It's like you are doing a job that you could pay someone $25 an hour. Is that what you got into real estate or whatever business you're in for? If not, why are you doing it? And I think the reason is because they don't know what to do if they have open time.
Yes.
It's this thing called go out and generate more business. That
correct. And that's what separates, that's what separates success from those that aren't. The success are always moving the needle into higher productive time spent on higher productive value hours, right? It's just like the real estate agent, right? And again, I was a real estate agent, so I can say these things. I feel like is like, it's one thing if you're, if you go sell 2 houses and then you go party because you sold 2 houses and then you go party for 30 days in Cancun. Okay, well, that wasn't a great use of your time to keep the business going. So, I think, well, and I'm glad you said that too, because like that's one of the things I do is I run the affiliate networking marketing department over here at the virtual assistant company, and it's a cool thing. Like your context obviously is get out, network with people, refer business to each other, right? And that's the definition of affiliate marketing. There's obviously in some cases a financial opportunity paid back and forth, right, based on those referrals. But I really feel like that's an interesting niche niche of where the where the vision and I guess the words I'm trying to say are eluding me, but like that's an interesting component that's been brought to the industries through whether it was Amazon, click my link here, or TikTok, click my link here, and I'll get credit for the dress, right? And so it's been a cool experience to see how that benefits businesses and the person that's actually willing to push that person's business. Cool. What's something that you stopped doing that you stopped doing that is helping you grow faster?
Feeling like this is definitely, I'm like, what is it? Feeling like I have to be all things to everyone and that everyone has to like me, all that, instead of really just, one of my sayings is the most profitable thing you can do is be yourself.
Yeah.
And the more I show up as myself, the more people are able to say that's somebody I want to work with, or maybe that's somebody I don't want to work with. And that's okay too. Because if you end up matched with somebody that really isn't a good alignment, especially in coaching, it's a very difficult relationship and they don't stick around. And I mean, my longest client has been with me now for 14 years. So I'm doing something right. And part of that, I think, is just, like I always tell people, I do my best not to, but I cuss. And if that's going to be a problem, we probably aren't a good fit because they're going to slip in sometimes. Yep. And it's just, here's who I am. If it's a good fit, great. And if it's not, let me see if I can help you find somebody else, because I know a lot of people and I'll find you somebody that is a good fit for you.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that's the missing thing that's coming back a lot is the authenticity of people, right? Because you have social media that will portray how people want to be portrayed, but you truly see the posts that are authentic, right? Tend to gravitate more views, more things like that. I think with obviously the LLMs that are out there and people taking the responses from those and just throwing them out there, people can tell that they're not authentic, that they're being created, right, by another LLM. So I think people value and crave authenticity. So I think that's a great point that you bring up. What's a lesson? We kind of answered the lesson the hard way. I think you would probably go back to COVID and not getting leverage in your business. Let's go with this one. What is something entrepreneurs consistently underestimate?
Oh, how much time it will take. And that's across the board. How much time it will take to be truly profitable, how much time it will take to do any task, how long it's going to be until you get clients, all those things. When I was a productivity coach at Keller Williams, I had one guy join and he was a rock star and everyone knew he was going to kill it. And 45 days in, he quit. Not just left go, quit real estate. And I asked him why. He goes, it's just not happening fast enough. Like, you've been here 45 days. What did you think was going to happen in 45 days? And it was such a shock because he just got out of the industry. And it was such a shame because he had everything. He was one of those people who should have just climbed the ladder and done wonderfully. So yeah, it's the underestimate. And I'm still guilty of that, especially when it gets into getting into something with technology. You're like, oh, I'll be able to clean this up in 15 minutes. Well, 3 hours later, I'm still going, no, that's not right. So that's the number one thing. We all want it now.
That's the way society and technology and everything has convinced us that everything is faster than it is, right? And I 1000% agree with that. I think, like even Gary used to say it, or Diana was, you'll underestimate or you'll overestimate what you'll do in 1 year and underestimate what you'll do in 5 years. And if that doesn't tell you everything, like if you give it 5 years, guarantee you're going to 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x what your thoughts were at that point in time. But most people won't give it 5 years, right? And that's why it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What's one piece of leverage advice you'd give someone trying to get to the next level?
It probably depends which level they're kind of going to. Yeah. I would say the first thing is to get some kind of help. And whether or not that's hiring a VA, it could be you've got, a kid in your house that can be helpful. It could be a friend. But start to figure out what pieces of the business are yours to hold on to and what pieces of the business are yours to find somebody who it's their thing. Yeah. So, and that can be done somewhat with AI. I like what you said, though, because I'm seeing it more and more. People are just going, all right, chat, or all right, Claude, tell me what I need to do. And then they just copy and paste it. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't sound like you. Initially, it was all right because everyone wasn't using it. now you can spot it a mile away and it immediately feels like ick.
Yeah.
So if you're using AI, it's a great tool. And it's a tool to me to get things started, to give you kind of ideas or to bounce things off. Like, hey, I wrote this. What do you think about it? Where am I weak? Where can I strengthen it? So it still is you. It's just, it's helping. So I do think those are probably the two biggest. And I truly believe, obviously, in having a coach. I always have multiple coaches because you've got the support then.
Yeah.
Because being an entrepreneur can be extremely lonely. Nobody else understands us other than other entrepreneurs, which is why we tend to run in packs. And so, you know, when your spouse is saying, I don't understand why you have to work till midnight tonight, I wanted to do this. And it's like, well, right now we're in a crunch time. This has got to happen. So having somebody that has your back, that is a safe place to come and kind of unload it all and work through it, I think it's really important too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because when you first had a couple of ideas, I'm like, I'm going to throw in coach for sure. And you hit it. So I was like, because a coach is so valuable. Like you said, it's like, you know, and specializations, right? Like a gym coach is not a business coach. A business coach may not likely be a gym coach, right? Or a nutrition coach. And so if you get those experts in those lanes, honestly, I think most people should have multiple coaches, right? Based on what their passions, desires are. One's business focused, one's health focused, whatever. And then obviously I think it's very true on the leverage side too, with your support staff, right? They should be specialized as well. Unfortunately, too many times we hire one person and say, well, I want you to do the data entry and help me build the business strategy and answer the phones. And they're like, I suck at two of those things and I'm really good at one. So you're going to get a mediocre output from me on these other two things, right? Instead of just like, go find somebody that will specialize in that area. What's one piece? What's your definition of leverage? How do you define leverage if you had a definition?
Anything that helps you do more in less time. If I had to give a really short one. Really, though, it's for me, it's what are the things I love doing and I want to do more of, and what are the things that, you know, I have to do that I want to do less of, and who can do those for me. And I think one thing you said about when you bring on a support team and asking them to do 15 different things in all these different areas. The other piece with it is so many people wait until they're completely overwhelmed. So that person comes in and they just throw everything at them and say, do this. And then they run off to do their thing. And the other person's like, well, I'll do my best here, but I have no idea what you want or what your protocols are or any of that. And then the person gets upset because you're not doing it right. Well, you didn't take the time to actually train this poor human. And I have been guilty of that. I learned fast. And that I think is the biggest thing people like get their own way over. And then
it's crazy because you can only imagine over, just like any big brokerage, you've seen anything and everything from the agent's world and what can happen. And it's like same thing here. We've had like 7,000 clients over 6 years, and you can only imagine the things that come in. So obviously we have definitely see some very hot spots that are a continuing trend, right? It's like, I know this is going to happen to a percentage of people and this is going to happen to a percentage. I just have the numbers. And like you said, that's one of those things where it's just like, I'm overwhelmed as a business owner. I don't have time to step back and write down my SOPs or my processes and systems. And so I'm going to hire this person to just walk in. Oh, by the way, I don't have time to train them either. So I don't have systems and processes documented. I don't have time to train them. And I always go like, if you went to go work for a person like you, how long would you last at that job? I wouldn't. I'd hate it. I'm like, well, ding, ding, ding.
Totally.
People aren't robots. They don't just get a put chip in their head and they're like, oh, I can just sit at this desk and magically know how to do everything. Very good. Well, I want to do a lightning round with you. So these are fast, quick questions that are very simple, simple responses. So favorite business book?
Right now I would, what is that? That's not a lightning round. That's a hard one. I have to think on that one. Probably if I had to go kind of a general, The One Thing.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good one. Best purchase under $100.
My monthly subscription to Claude.
Heck yeah. I like it. I like it. All right. You may already have just answered this one.
Favorite
AI
yes.
tool. Claude, other than it lost your data.
Well, yeah. Other than that, that was so bad. It actually said, you need to screenshot all this because I shouldn't have done this and you need to send it to Anthropic. I'm like, you think?
Hey, thanks, Claude. What app on your phone, I'll be specific, what app on your phone do you use most?
I want to lie, but Facebook.
I know Facebook's got such a great penetration on the market because probably 8 out of 10 people, 80% will say that one. Most impactful habit that you have?
This will sound weird, but I sit in my hot tub every night when I'm done working before I re-engage with my household.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Biggest business mistake you made? You may have addressed that earlier.
I'm like, which one?
Yeah, right.
What's the most recent one? I over-enrolled in programs, and
Cool.
it wasn't because I did that. I didn't really get all the pieces of all of them because I was bouncing among people, and it would have been much better to be like, I'm doing this one, then this one, then this one. And I went all in on a bunch of them at the same time.
Awesome. A belief you have that most entrepreneurs disagree with?
I don't know if they disagree with it, but I have a strong belief in we get programmed to be somebody that isn't probably who we naturally are. And that when you get back to that and you really ground yourself in who you are and what you want, life and business becomes so much easier.
Yeah, love that. If you could track only one KPI, what would that be? Key performance indicator. I'm sure you know that, but just in case.
I would say the conversations you're having, whether it's with people that you could work with or partner with, clients, whatever. I think most people don't track that. And then they wonder, well, why do I not have business? When was the last time you got on a call with somebody new? Yeah.
Know your numbers. Know your numbers. One thing that you would never delegate.
My client, like working with my clients. They're here. So nobody else can do that.
Very good. I love that. I love that. Well, that wraps up our episode. Anything you want to conclude on? Not to set you up for that, but anything you want to wrap up with? And obviously we'll get who you are, your information, how people can reach out and contact you here in just a second. But anything you want to finish up on?
I think we covered a lot of it. And I think, the common thread is know who you are, know what you want. If you're using tools or leverage, let them know that too. And when you're looking for tools and leverage, make sure they're aligned with that, because it's not just can they do the job, it's do they match who you are and your pacing and what you want. And then with the tools, with AI, it is a fantastic tool.
Yep.
Use it as a tool, not as a replacement. And really program it to talk like you. Like I tell Claude all the time, where did you even find that? That doesn't sound like me. And it's like, oh, you're right. And then it'll come back and it'll sound much more like me. But they aren't as smart as we think they are. They are just feeding us back information. So I think those are probably the biggest ones.
Yeah, well, I 1,000% agree with you. Well, Jennifer, let people know how they can connect with you, reach out to you if they want any guidance, if they want some coaching, especially the ladies that are out there in our audience for the women's coaching side of it, anything you want to pass on. And also they all know that they can reach out to me, they can connect with me, and I have the Rolodex of our partners that have been on these calls that I can connect them with.
Yeah, so, you can find me on all the social media. Well, no. The two big ones I'm on are Instagram and Facebook, if I'm being totally honest. So you can find me there, or you can go to coachjen.com and find everything you need there.
Got it. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate your time. I know it takes a lot out of your day when you're busy, and congratulations on the rebranding that you just went through. I'm excited to watch that go and grow. Again, very much appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. And for our guests that are watching the episode, go ahead and make sure to post comments down in our YouTube video, and we'll make sure to respond back. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you on the next episode.